Hello, welcome back to We're Literally Obsessed, or welcome to We're Literally Obsessed. This is a podcast where two brothers, Greg and Kendall, go over literally whatever we're obsessed with this week. This entire podcast is meant for us to force each other to vent on air and air out our most recent obsession this week, or whatever we felt like today.
That was so professional. Look at you,
Yeah.
coming in like a radio announcer.
And you know what? I think it's the little blazer. She said, today we're clocking in. Today is professional career day.
Right. And I'm Greg. You're Kendall.
Oh, yeah, I guess we didn't clarify. Yeah.
I just
Okay,
thought
yeah.
that-
Yeah, I was like, I know I said our names.
You
Yeah,
did.
yeah. I'm Kendall. That's Greg.
Yeah. I feel so weird because you still have a microphone to hold. My microphone fully acting up, being a bitch. And so I have to use this like desk one, which is good. It still sounds great, but like I feel so off because you're holding and mine's down. Like originally we were going to have mics down, but you were like, "Oh no. I need the sassiness or of holding a mic."
I need to do something with my hands. Otherwise, I'm going to be all over the place and fidgeting. And this is it. And also, you know what? I'm blaming it on the retrograde. This is our last week having to film under her bitch ass. So
Right.
we will get through this one. We'll make it through. The retrograde has been dragging us by our entire scalps. And you know what? We're just going to go through today. I chose my topic because I needed to. It was everything I wanted. And truly, I don't even think my topic can be a secret because my entire oot today is giving everything away. I'm titling this outfit the Kendall Bradshaw. This entire outfit is completely inspired by the one and only iconic Carrie Bradshaw of Sex and the City and Now and Just Like That. We've got the tulle skirt. We've got the cute little blazer. I have lace on underneath. And if there's one thing that Sex and the City and Carrie Bradshaw is going to do, it's going to be to mix textures, patterns, everything. And so I decided I'm going to go for all of it. We literally have tulle skirt, lace shirt, check blazer. We've got green marble nails, which are complementary but also contrast. Like her whole style, her whole thing is creativity, and I went for it today. We got on little boots with chains on them that matches the other chains, that matches the white pearls. We got everything going. Then rings, we have a giant Art Deco green ring. Unfortunately, we did lose a nail doing our hair today. I did also do salt hairspray to try to get the curly, iconic, wavy.
I love salt hairspray.
Yes. I did too. I was scrunching the shit out of my hair, and I tried to get all the curls
Just
and
keep talking.
waves
I'm gonna tell you something.
and the Carrie mane. Oh, okay.
I feel like there's not enough you on camera.
Okay.
It's like
Well, for all of those listening, actually, you'll probably cut this out.
this is proof we have no interns. We do
Yeah.
all this shit ourselves.
It's all on us. If you're hiring, let us know. So, anyway, so I did salt spray to try to get the fluffy Carrie hair. In the midst of her, we lost a nail, and you know what? Her whole shtick is that she's not perfect, she's real. So we're going with the missing the one nail. I threw her away, but I do love these nails. They're green marble. They're everything. I actually had them done by a coworker's friend who's trying to get nail experience. So I literally went to this coworker's apartment, and like I've known of this coworker for like a year, but I don't really know them like that. Fully went to their apartment and just like sat down and got my nails done
They're really
by some
pretty.
stranger. I know. That's what I'm saying. It's like they're so good. Like, shout out to Perla. If you make it big, I will be sure to let everyone know I was one of your first clients. But yeah, they did great nails. Good conversation. Like, honestly, it was like such a little intimate salon experience. Like, I've had my nails done in the salon before, and it was fine. But honestly, just going to somebody's house and getting the nails done was fun. I was a little bit worried I might get murdered, so I did have to like screenshot information and send it to my friend. I was like, look, if I don't make it home, this is where I was and this is what I was doing. But we made it.
If you
And we got cute
if
nails.
You got murdered over getting your nails done.
And you know what? I was like, children, you need a white van with candy. Gay men, you just need someone to offer you free nails.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's my white van with candy. It's just someone's like, oh, my friend will do your nails for free, which I still paid because she worked hard. But yeah, I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go for it. The Mercury retrograde. I needed to treat myself. I needed a little something cute for me. Um, Literally treated myself. Then a few days later, got my car hit. Now have to pay a big beautiful deductible on top of which we've been kind of keeping this under wraps because I wanted to like get it out at my job and everywhere first. But I'm fully moving.
Hinting.
Yes, yes, yes. I'm fully moving all the way to Denver, a whole 3-day drive away. And we're excited, but we're absolutely fucking nervous. I've never moved away from home, but we've got the house secured, but I don't have a job. I don't know what I'm doing. But I'm fucking leaping. It's in a cute part of town. It's gonna be walkable. So next time I get hit, it'll be me physically, not my car. Knock on wood that doesn't happen. But I'm like, all right, cool. I didn't need this cute little car repair deductible on top of me entire moving expenses.
Yeah. And if anyone understands the deductible, it's me over here. Because it's so weird. It's like one of us is like literally like chilling, doing life. And the other one is fucking going through it. Because last week, or the last couple weeks, I've been having a rough time. Literally, my topic last episode was escapism. And I was like, this was my only way to survive. So now for me, things are starting to like finally like I see the light at the end of the tunnel. We're moving. Things are feeling lighter and better. And then you're just like, fuck life.
Absolutely, exactly. It's like the episode of Parks and Rec where Amy falls down the pit. That's exactly how I felt this entire week. But I did stop for a cute moment, get my nails done, and then just kept rolling.
Yeah.
So, you know what? We're here. We're making it. My oot today is cute. I love it. I want to take a little moment and shout myself out and Harry Styles for his gender bending. But this is the first time I've ever actually worn a skirt. So, yeah, thank you. Thank you. And so I'm just out here having fun.
Yes.
Twirling around in this little skirt.
I
looking
love
cute.
the like aggressive energy you brought in because in our first how long have we been recording? Like 5-10 minutes, not even 10 minutes. You've come in, you're like, this is how professional intro. And then, you know what? Life sucks. Here's my oot and my subject, and we're moving on. It's like, you're just like, bam, 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 bam.
And that's how I feel this week. And that's, you know what?
And then
I'm my funniest when I'm angry. And there's 9 levels of hell. I'm on 9 levels of dissociation. So I feel nothing and everything. So I'm here. I'm going to listen. We're going to have a good time. This will be a special episode. Sex in the City is a comfort show for me, and I needed her this week. And I was like, you know what? I'm not even overthinking the topic this week. I literally made these notes at 10 o'clock last night. It is now 10 a.m. the next morning. Within 12 hours, I put together all of this. So
I don't know. Like, we don't even have, like, a set way we do the show. But the fact that you've already come in. I haven't even talked about my doll of the episode, and we already know your subject, your outfit.
But
everything.
you know what? Because it was so heavily related, and I think I needed this.
No, I love it. And, I mean, we'll get into it. Because also what's funny is we're on an even episode, which means I go first.
Yeah.
But I will say I'm very excited about your obsession now that I know what it is. Because I have a lot of experience with the show as well because of you. But I guess now we'll jump to my doll.
Yeah. How is she today? What is she doing? Did she get sideswiped?
You know what? Actually, she's one of the most hated characters in the entire Rainbow High franchise.
So she has.
She has been sideswiped.
And you know what? For that, I love her. Feeling like it's a little bit homophobic that she's hated. This is the rainbow one.
Oh, the reason she's hated is because she's straight.
And you know what?
She's one of the few characters with like a confirmed romance. Actually, her romantic person is this guy right here, River Kendall.
Oh,
People
hey girl.
hate her, and they're like, the straight one,
You, the breeders.
Exactly. But no, I love her. This is Amaya Rain. This is her fantastic fashion look. So, these dolls are special. I've been making them special to me because unless you're in Rainbow High, you don't really know. Or if you're Kendall, because I talked to you about it. Rainbow High has recently gone through a rebrand. And they're like aimed at a much younger demographic. So like the quality or like the fashion's a little bit of a step back. The glitter faces. There's a lot of things. But basically they're aimed at a younger demographic. But
they have glitter faces now?
Literally glitter all over the faces.
Ew.
It's like imagine like glitter freckles, but the entire face.
Wow.
It's
actually, it would be so cute if that was me. It'd be like one of those little trolls from the Troll movie.
I mean, it's cute as like a doll for a younger demographic, but
Oh
like,
my gosh, she's like Lady Rainbow Sparkle. Do you know that girl from Trolls?
yes, I do. But she, I don't know, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, so this is like a recreation of a look that was in like series one of the show. They're on like
Mm-hmm.
season four. We saw photos of it back in 2021, I think, and everybody wanted the looks made. They never made them. Now we're
Hmm.
like series and series is later, and they right before they did the reboot, they released these dolls, which were like the series one super high fashion looks, and Rainbow High stopped getting two outfits. They had two outfits with this doll and stuff like that. So I looked at it as like a goodbye gift from the team for like the OG collectors before they headed into the
Okay.
reboot. So it has
Oh,
like a
cute.
special sentimental thing, yeah. But she's in like this like iridescent gown that then drops to a rainbow. And look at this fabric, Kendall. Like this is quality. Look how
Me
it
and her are
moves.
matching. We got the tulle fabric with the slip skirt underneath.
And then she has this long white hair, and it has like a hidden rainbow inside of it. I don't know if that's
Oh,
gonna
I
come on
kind
the
of saw
photo.
some of it.
And then I just did this little like squiggly thing with hair gel. I've been very fascinated by kind of like the drag hairstyle artistry thing going on where they have like these like sculpted hairs on top but then long and flowing at the bottom
Uh huh.
and yawning again.
No.
And so I like kind of I don't know with hair gel. I didn't fully know what I was doing, but it was my first attempt, and I had a lot of fun. But it's something I definitely want to start doing. I don't do it with Integrity Toys. They're like sculpted already. I don't touch them. Like their hair's already done. But with Rainbow High, I like to get a little creative and try different things out. But yeah, I'm excited. I had a lot of
I
fun with
like it.
it. And honestly, the reason she's my doll of the episode is because literally I did an episode on her this week. This is posting later, so
Hmm.
this is the week I did that video. And I haven't felt like putting her on the shelf, and she was still on my desk, so.
And you know what? Simple enough. Sometimes the doll chooses you.
Exactly. Yeah,
I
I love
will
her.
say like the outfit's cute. I do love it. The white part with the ruffles on top. I hate to say it, but it's giving like silverware wrapping at like a fancy wedding.
I see that. I see that. Yeah,
But it
and
is still cute, and if she wore that dress, I would support her. Not my favorite one. I think we all know my favorite one. I talked about it a lot, but she is cute, and I like what you did with the hair. A little fun element, something different.
yeah, I'm excited to get more experimental with the hairstyles because I was just trying it out and it worked, so I'm happy
And I
about
mean, they're
it.
not releasing them the same anymore. So at this point, like customize them and just have your own little version of it.
Exactly.
It's your collection. I
But
love
yeah,
it.
that's my dog of the episode, Amaya Rain.
Hi,
Love her.
Amaya.
Um, so now I guess we go straight into my subject. Is that
Yeah.
it? I'm
Yeah.
so confused because it's been such.
I threw you off. Okay.
Yeah, uh-huh.
Let me take the reins again. Greg, let's get into your subject.
So Kendall, my
Yeah.
obsession for this week is another I'm kind of pulling from childhood, but actually it still has some relevancy in my adulthood.
Okay.
It is one we share.
Okay.
It is again another one of those fundamental things that really shaped us through life, especially me. You
Okay.
a bit as well, but definitely me. And
Okay.
my obsession this week
Yeah.
is total drama.
Oh, girl. This was your entire personality for years.
This was, and this has still to this day affected my personality.
To the point that it also tied into The Sims.
Exactly. Like we're gonna go there because also we dropped The Sims, but this will be our moment to like touch on that without having to like make it a whole segment later.
Yes.
So again, I have my cute little sides. And
Yes.
I
Yeah, I
did
was gonna
do
ask
the
to see them.
correct font. Look at that.
I'm proud of you.
I even put episode 6. I was like, ooh, we're really cooking with something.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna start with the beginning and just
Yes.
kind of give the facts for people who don't know. Total Drama Island is a Canadian show that started in July of 2007 and then showed in the U.S. in June of 2008 on Cartoon Network.
Yeah. I remember this summer of the premiere because we were watching it, and then we went to the drive-in theater in our hometown, one of the few left. They always do an ad about it. It's so depressing. But anyway, they're like, there's no more drive-in theaters left in the entire world. But
Exactly.
we're here. Welcome. Oh my God, buy our snacks so we don't get shut down.
Exactly. Please don't sneak in food. We're broke.
Meanwhile, here we are with like a 20 nugget meal, 3
Under our blanket
McChickens,
pulling
5
out
Happy
chicken
Meals.
nuggets.
Dad's like, shut up, don't say nothing.
Don't say anything.
I think one
We'll
time
get
we
drinks
even
there. We'll get drinks there. Oh my goodness.
yeah. Anyway, they're still
No,
operating
actually,
though. They didn't need our money.
I would like to say though, the amount of times I genuinely have a memory of like we're sitting in the back of the truck with the blanket and I just like pull a McChicken up, bite, and put it down.
Why were we so? Were we like we were gonna get arrested, like thrown on the ground, like Shrek to Donkey and Shrek getting arrested in Far Far Away?
Exactly.
Like we gotta sneak this. They can't see us eat this fry. You better dip that you better dip that fucking chicken nugget slow. Anyway, I'll have to say I remember this because we went and watched Wall-E at the drive-in theater.
Yes, Wall-E. But do you remember how fundamentally Total Drama, before we even started watching it, changed our entire childhood, basically?
No, but I think I need you to tell me.
So, Total Drama came... Our bedtime at this time was, I believe, 8:30.
Oh.
And Total Drama was on until 9 p.m., 9:30 p.m. I forget, like... But it was a later
So you didn't do your
slot.
research?
I did not go that far. It was in a later time slot. And I remember we were at Mom's job at 911. We were watching the ads for the show. And school was coming up, like you just said. And so we talked to Mom. We're like, Mom, can we have a later bedtime so we can watch the show? And she's like, you know what? Y'all are smart kids. Y'all are older. And I appreciate y'all asking me. So y'all can now stay up till 10 p.m. Total Drama gave us that later time slot. And after that, it really wasn't even enforced, the 10 p.m. thing. We kind of just did whatever because we made our own schedule. But basically, Total Drama got rid of our bedtime.
You know what? I don't remember that, but I love that for us.
You don't remember it all? Like
as a child, I remember that being the biggest victory, getting to stay up later. No, I don't remember it all.
Total Drama is literally the reason we asked to stay up later because it was past our bedtime.
And I know we just had like a whole rehearsed conversation when we did it too, because it's exactly how we operated.
And you don't know what's worse? Some of our friends, I say our friends, they were my friends at the time because we were in middle school. But the group that later became our friends in high school, I was so excited. I was like, guys, I'm going to watch this show. And my mom said I could stay up later. You know what my fucking friends, your future friends said to me?
What?
You still have a bedtime? You're in middle school. I was embarrassed. I was just like, none of them had bedtimes. None of them. I was like, it's just me. Okay, so quick interjection. Turns out I hadn't been deleting all of the old episodes, so I had so much video space taking up my laptop space, and we ran out.
I think at this point we're going to have to start buying those hard drives. And this time I'll say it, we're official, Greg.
Yes, we're official. So anyway, back to Total Drama. We extended our bedtime. That was the end of that story. And, you know, Cartoon Network. But the reason this show is so big, I mean, we were still like we'd kind of moved out of cartoons by this point, honestly. We were more into like the live action shows, you know, Hannah Montana and such.
Yeah, secretly though, on the down low. And we always blamed our sister if we knew any of it.
Exactly. But we could sing those songs, you know.
Nobody's perfect.
Exactly.
Oh, I wonder if that was the same summer. Summer 2007 was iconic. I remember our family vacation that year. We were watching, like, me and you were singing Nobody's Perfect the entire, like, drive out to Kansas. Still my favorite song. But anyway.
It's actually not my favorite. What is my favorite by Hannah Montana? Okay, the one with David Archuleta.
Yeah, and now he's a gay icon.
I know. Don't we love that?
Full circle, babe. Full circle.
But anyway, so Total Drama Island was the first one, and it was a bunch of campers. It was 22 contestants, Kendall.
Wait, there was 22 characters in the first season?
Yes, not even not even counting Chef and Chris, the host. 22 contestants.
Like just camp. I don't even remember that many.
I didn't either, but I went in, and according to the wiki, if I'm wrong, the wiki said 22 contestants.
Maybe that was the Canadian version. Also, I do remember that the Canadian version of the show had completely different costumes, and I was shook.
Okay, not different costumes, but completely different outcome.
Oh.
Like, they didn't have the same winners the U.S. series, and things happened differently. The elimination order, same characters, but, like, things that happen are different, which I loved because we found out. We'll get there.
Okay.
Anyway, 22 contestants.
22.
And it was a bunch of teenagers who get sent to an island. They get put on teams. They vote each other out until there's one left. Basically, it is a spoof of Survivor. Maybe another show, but from my experience, it's a spoof of Survivor. And our family watched Survivor. We didn't really watch Survivor at that time. Like, we saw.
I knew it existed. I was like, there's people on an island. Honestly, you could have told me Survivor and Lost were the same thing.
I know, same. Back then, same. And then our family also watched Big Brother, and we weren't into watching Big Brother yet either. But our family watched it.
Yeah, I truly, like, I can't even commit a single still of Big Brother to memory until me and you found it in high school. So
exactly.
Like,
so
we thought this was brand new, fresh on the scene. I thought nobody had ever done what Total Drama was doing. I was like, they changed the game.
I was like, how has nobody ever done this? This is the most brilliant thing I've ever seen in my life.
Meanwhile,
we became obsessed with this show. Like,
yes,
we were drawing the characters. We were talking about who's going to get eliminated next, who we liked, who we didn't like, who's playing the best. Like,
yeah. Also, I just want to take a moment. Shout out to our fellow poor kids who couldn't afford toys, so we just sat down with notebook paper and drew out characters from all our favorite TV shows over the years.
Yes.
And then cut them out and then played with the paper versions.
Which, that is a whole nother thing. There was, I mean, maybe different in Canada, but here in the U.S., there was no, like, merchandise for this show. Like, there was no, I wanted there to be, like, action figures or dolls or something of this show so
Of course
bad.
you did.
Of course I did. But it didn't exist. So that was tragic. We used to talk about, who would have the best, like, if these were toys, who would we want as a toy? Like, that was our fun pastime.
Yeah.
It was a little sad. But that's how we made our time with it. So now I want to ask, do you have any iconic characters that come to mind that were just, like, amazing for you?
Okay, so initial characters that I loved, I wanted to be Trent. I wanted to be just the guitar boy that nobody understood. Looking back now, I'm going to say he can stay where he was at. Heather and LaShonda, I think, were the most iconic characters. And then Lindsay. And only Lindsay from the season where they did the world tour and she got evicted.
Okay, I was saving to jump to that later.
You know, and we can, but that was the moment she solidified.
We're gonna talk about it now. We brought it up.
Yeah, we brought it up. You're right.
There's multiple seasons of Total Drama, and in Total Drama World Tour, so Lindsay is an OG character. She's from season 1, and they continue to bring her through other seasons. And we liked her. She's kind of the dumb blonde character. That's simply it.
Yeah.
But her elimination in Total Drama World Tour, where they get thrown out of the plane, I don't even know how to explain her elimination. Go look it up. Just look up Lindsay Total Drama World Tour elimination.
I remember when it happened, and we immediately found it on YouTube, and I was like in tears, wheezing, laughing because we just kept replaying it.
No, boy, because we watched it on our DirecTV. We rewinded, played it, rewinded it, played it, rewinded it, played it from our DVR. We did it so we were crying, close to peeing on ourselves. We were dying just watching her elimination because we don't even understand how it happened, but basically she ping pongs around the plane and then just falls off the plane.
Yeah.
Because they were eliminated by having to skydive out of the plane.
Yes.
I don't know what happened. I genuinely, I remember being so confused, so entertained. But from that moment, Lindsay, we already liked Lindsay, but she was an icon at that point.
Yeah, that was her icon moment. But original cast, obviously remembered Gwen because she was the character we're supposed to be rooting for, our little emo queen. And then also Izzy, she was just absolutely fucking ballistic.
Yes.
And then Owen, but here's the thing. Owen was iconic, but I was afraid to admit I liked him or associate myself with him because at this point in my life, I was little morbidly obese Kendall. And Owen's character is overweight and big, and so I was like, I cannot associate.
To eat and fart, which
true were me, but I did not want to be a stereotype of an overweight person. I was fighting for my rights, and so I refused to associate with him.
And now you and Owen have the same hairstyle.
Yeah, we do.
But yeah, like you said, those are some iconic characters. But so for starters, my favorite character was Izzy. That unhinged diva. I loved her. She was beyond. She was something else. I did not even know what to do with her. Then Lindsay, of course. You related to Owen a lot. I had a lot of for some reason, I really felt connected to Cody, who was kind of like
the redhead kid.
No. He was the little dorky kid. Actually, he has your hairstyle. He was actually, I have a photo of him. I'll zoom in so you don't see the rest of the characters. But Cody, Right there.
That's what you look like when you were little too.
You're right. But like he was kind of like the nerdy one. He had a crush on Gwen.
Mm-hmm.
Always trying his best. He wasn't the cool kid. He wasn't the loser, but he was like somewhere in the middle.
Yeah.
Like I related to Cody a lot.
Yeah.
Then there was a character you and I were both obsessed with. I don't know why. Okay, I do know why. It was aesthetics, but Bridget, the surfer girl.
Oh yeah.
We were obsessed with her, and when she got eliminated, we were devastated. But
Right?
her personality, where was it? You know, it's
And
just like making out with Jeff.
yeah. Yeah. And you know what? We were young, we were naive. You know, she's giving pick me energy.
It wasn't even pick me energy. It was just like I'm different, but she wasn't forcefully doing it. She just so chill. I don't know.
But you know what? She dressed exactly like your first sim you ever designed. So like that was just
Similar,
that was your obsession at that time.
And then love Lindsay, and then the iconic duo who I always loved and still loved for a while, Katie and Sadie.
You know what? I thought of them too, and I
Uh-huh.
do love them.
Yes. So
They
I
were.
literally have photos of like each of these. You can put it
These
up.
are your faves.
Yeah, I put these are my faves from like the beginning, you know?
Yeah.
So we have Lindsay, then Izzy, Cody, Bridget, and Katie and Sadie. Like, they were the icons. And, okay, as I've gotten older, I relate to Heather so much. I love Heather. Back then, I was like, oh my gosh, Heather's the worst. But I love Heather. And do you remember season 1 when her boobs came out?
I do not. The most iconic thing she did in season 1 was when she got her hair shaved,
She did get her hair shaved.
and she was bald.
She was bald. And then the next season, they had her wearing that mullet wig the whole
Yeah.
Oh, Heather. I loved her. She was so mean, but honestly, she was playing the game. She was doing it
Yeah.
correctly. But yeah,
Exactly.
Total Drama, it started my obsession with reality competition shows. I loved
It really
so
did.
much.
That was the birth.
And then finding out, I haven't even watched the Canadian versions. I really want to, but they have different outcomes and different winners. Like,
Yeah.
okay, Total Drama Island, the winner was Gwen. Do you know who the winner was in Canada?
Wasn't it Owen?
I thought so too, but according to what I saw on the wiki, maybe the wiki's wrong, or maybe it wasn't Canada, it was a different area. It was DJ.
What? I
Yeah,
barely
the
remember
Animal
him.
Lover. He won, apparently.
Okay.
But
All
as
right.
we've hinted, the show continued, and here's how many franchises it had, Kendall. It had Total Drama Island, the OG.
Yeah.
Then we had Total Drama Action, which was on like a movie.
Oh yeah, the movie lot one. I remember that one. That was when Harold and it's Lashonda, right? That's her name.
LaShonda. I
Lashonda.
think it's LaShawn. Or is LaShonda? It might be LaShonda.
Anyway, Harold and I'm gonna call her Lashonda. Harold and Lashonda had a romance, which was so fucking weird. I don't know. Harold always made me uncomfortable.
Well,
And
he
still
started
does.
hitting on her in Total Drama Island, but then they were like together in Total Drama Action.
Yeah. It was weird.
And
I was
then
happy to see him go every
That's
time.
also where we met two very iconic characters,
Okay.
Alejandro and Sierra.
Alejandro.
Yeah, the one who basically was in love with Heather, and he was literally male Heather. And then Sierra, who was obsessed with Cody.
I don't.
You're gonna remember her real quick because don't
Yeah.
you worry, I got her. Alejandro and Sierra.
Oh, her braid. Oh, okay.
She was absolutely obsessed with Cody. It was fascinating to me. Then we had Total Drama World Tour, which
Yes, I think that's probably my favorite season, and only simply for the scene with Lindsay.
and I genuinely don't remember who wins Action or World Tour.
I don't either. It obviously was not Lindsay.
We remember Lindsay's elimination very clearly.
Yeah.
And then you stopped watching after World Tour, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Because then we got to Revenge of the Island, and that's where they introduced a new cast.
I remember they introduced a new cast, and I remember you watched it, and you were trying to tell me about it, and I was like, okay, great. Like, I think that show started in 2007, and at that point, I think we were in high school, and I was just like, it's been long enough.
Actually, I think Revenge of the Island may have come out, like, when I was in college, honestly. Because I remember watching, like, in between classes and stuff. Either I was watching it late, or it came out while I was in college.
Yeah.
But then after that, which really, this is the saddest part that you fell off after World Tour, because after Revenge of the Island was Total Drama All Stars.
No, I remember you telling me all about it, and I remember that certain characters came back.
Yeah, well, it's All Star season. It was all returning characters. It was really cool. And then they had like it kind of reminded me of the competition show we watched with like Past and the Future, one stayed in the horrible cabins, the other group stayed in this
That
like,
we just
mansion.
okay. I just talked about that because that was such a random VH1 show.
Yeah, we were talking about it at Dad's at dinner last week.
You know, if anyone else remembers, we have to find the name, or you probably remember the
It
name.
was past versus future. Or I don't even remember.
Yeah,
But
like
they made half of a team. It was two teams.
they
One
straight up
team,
like took a warehouse in the woods, split it down the middle. Half of them lived like cavemen. The other half lived like future tech and all wore white. Of course, you were obsessed with like the all white.
It was amazing. It was everything. Okay,
It was so
everything was
boring.
all
White's
white.
not my color.
Everything was all white, but then had a blue glow to it, like that futuristic. But then the worst
Yeah.
part is, like Kendall Sims thing, they had a window down the middle where they could see each other.
And you know what? Maybe I've
they-
been getting watched this whole time, and people are just sapping me for my beautiful, gorgeous ideas.
But like on the past side, they're literally like in furs and like sleeping in the dirt and stuff. They're like cavemen.
Literally.
They shower outdoors from like this like little waterfall thing. It was insane.
And you know what? I appreciated all the men they put in those little thongs, pretty much.
And the winner of that show was Frank the Fireman, who is one beefy hunky man.
Amen.
But yeah, that was a really interesting show. But it kind of had like that kind of like duality of like mansion versus the other one.
Yeah.
I enjoyed All Stars. It was cool. Then they got to Pakatu Island, which was
Okay.
like a different island. I don't know. And then Kendall, I just found out, and it's been my last obsession for the last 48 hours, and it's driving me up a wall.
Okay.
Remember, I told you right around the pandemic started, there was word that they were bringing Total Drama back.
Okay. Yeah.
It started
Oh.
in October of 2023. The season
Oh,
is
literally
still
just
airing.
last year.
But here's the thing.
Okay.
It's in Australia. It's not in the U.S., and I have not been able to find anywhere to watch it. And it is driving me absolutely insane. I've been trying so hard, but it's in Australia. Also, I did see a clip, and Chris has like a new voice actor, which is interesting.
You know, something I would like to admit now on camera is the way they designed Chris, it just always made me think of Billy Ray Cyrus.
Yeah, I see that.
Like 2007 Billy Ray Cyrus is Chris.
But also, Kendall, I watched like the kind of like the cast coming in, you know, like how they come in the boat and they introduce them.
Yeah.
The contestants, I don't know why I didn't see this coming. They're Gen Z.
Ooh.
So it's like in the past, it's like, oh, we see our stereotypes from our childhood.
Yeah.
Well, obviously, they're teenagers going away for camp. Kendall, they're Gen Z kids now. And that threw me off. I was not like, there's a Harley Quinn character. There's like the
I get.
TikTok social media obsessed girl.
Yeah.
Who's like talking about, you know, growing and blah. Like, Kendall, it was crazy. I don't know why it caught me so off guard, but
And isn't it crazy how much culture has shifted in like 15, 16 years?
it really is. So like it was just like interesting. And then they had this spinoff, which was the Redonkulous Race, which was their version of the Amazing Race. I couldn't get into it. They had a couple Total Drama Island characters.
Wasn't there one where they were children and it was like total drama babies or something?
It's Total Drama Rama. I've never watched it, but yeah, it's literally them as babies, but it just messes with me. It breaks the whole canon because the one taking care of them is Chef, you know, the chef guy. And then it's like all of them as children. It's like, how do they know each other? Because the first time they meet is the island. It's like its own alternate
Yeah.
universe.
They were trying to redo the Teen Titans Go thing. And honestly, people wanted to hate Teen Titan Go, but that show was kind of iconic. Like
We hated it in the beginning.
we were on the hater wagon because we thought we would lose our credibility as real Teen Titan fans because we were there for the OG Cartoon
Because
Network.
we love Teen Titans.
Yes.
Obsessed. That's
Now
a
we
whole nother-
did get figures of those. We drew them and cut them out as well, but we did have toys of
Yes,
those.
we did.
Yeah.
But yeah, that show was good. I don't know. Total Drama Rama was just bad. But
Yeah.
basically, it's back and I can't watch it and it's driving me crazy. I'm going to figure it out.
And you know what? If we had a really good sponsor like NordVPN or Shark VPN,
I bet you I could. I found
Yeah.
a website. I found ABC Australia and they said, you're American. You can't watch this. I
yeah.
was so
VPN sponsors, come at us. Greg's trying to watch
upset.
Total
Watch
Drama
Total
Australia. You know what? Like on our Instagram, he will do a live stream.
But
Anything simple, girl. I got to get this deductible paid.
I do want to talk about a couple of characters, like super quick, that were part of later seasons. Again, you didn't watch it, so you're not going to know them very well. But they're characters I enjoy. There's Dakota. She is literally, I will show you in the screen. There's Dakota. She is the blonde girl here. Basically, she was Barbie.
Okay, I'll say it literally looks like Barbie.
But the best part is, okay, she was literally Barbie. She was
Mm-hmm.
a Heather kind of character. But what's great about her is she fell into like some toxic waste and turned into a monster and fell in love with the D&D nerd.
Oh.
And I love her
Mm.
for that.
Okay.
So
Love that for her.
she was icon. She literally turned into this giant monster, had spiky green hair, and was huge and had claws. And
I
fell
feel
in,
like you've shown me that before. I've seen that before for
yeah,
some
and she
reason.
fell in love with like the D&D nerd. So I love that. Like so much of that, I was like, yes,
His
Barbie.
lizard queen.
And I just like the name Dakota. So
Yeah.
then the last two actually ended up being love interest. It is Mike and Zoe. I showed you before. I was like, Kendall,
Okay, I remember Zoe.
I was
Mike
like,
for
you'd
sure.
love-
I remember.
yeah, I was like, Zoe would be your obsession, Kendall. She had the
Okay.
red hair during your red hair obsession and everything. She was super sweet girl. She was very nice. She was like Gwen without being goth. Just super nice girl. And then Mike, I found him very interesting, but his character is kind of problematic these days because he had dissociative identity disorder, or I think that's like the best name for it. Or,
Yeah, no, that is the name. So it used to be called like the layman
Multiple-
term was multiple personality
Yeah.
disorder, but like the DSM is definitely dissociative identity.
Right. And so his thing was that he had multiple identities that he could like call on to do
No, I remember
special
this. He
things.
used to make. I think I did see a few episodes.
I think you watched a little bit of this season. Because again, if it was in college, like I would just play it in our room.
You would.
Yeah. So and he would call upon identities, and then he had this secret evil identity. Da da da. So
Oh
like
yeah, I remember that.
harmful stereotype for dissociative identity disorder, but like as a character, he was really interesting, and I did like him.
Yeah. Also, who was that one character that like got lost in the cave and turned into Gollum?
Ezekiel. He was the homeschool
Ezekiel.
kid. Yeah. He was. Yeah, he fully turned into
I remember
Gollum.
him, and because he was definitely in the World Tour season, and he was like in the background.
Well, no, he was OG season and then got lost.
No, I remember he was. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They just like lost me. Like whoops.
But he definitely makes a lot of guest appearances in a lot of seasons. Because the thing with their season, I think it was their season, which is Pakatu Island, or which was called Revenge of the Island or something like that. Basically, the island got covered in toxic waste. So it was like kind of like toxic. The animals had 3 eyeballs, da 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 da, and that's how Dakota became literally a monster. So that is basically Total Drama. We were obsessed, but me and Kendall took it to another level.
Yes. Like, you know what? Seasons 1 through 3, I was there for. I support her. It was iconic. There was just, it was so stupid. And
it was some
it did
risque jokes. Like, if you listen to it, it's definitely like a lot of hidden meanings going on.
yeah.
And it's such a good show. And it opened up, like, what is now a huge obsession for mine. Like, I am obsessed with reality competition shows like Survivor, Big Brother, RuPaul's Drag Race, like The Amazing Race. Like, I love... If people are getting eliminated, I want to watch it, you know? And Total Drama was the first show that really opened that up for me.
Wait, no, which one of them was it got catapulted?
Oh my gosh.
They were so
had
stupid
some
with the
horrible-
They literally, like, they were...
There was a season they used to get flushed down a toilet.
Yeah. It was, like, it's absolutely perfect.
It was
Yeah.
literally... Was it the...
A cinematic masterpiece
It
for
was
13-year-old
the
boys
dock
everywhere.
of shame to get to the boat of losers or something like that. It was... oh my gosh. But yeah, it was such a... It was a show that made fun of it, but it was so entertaining at the same time. I love that show. And I've rewatched it multiple times. I am now currently on the hunt to watch Australian.
And I wish you well.
2023 Total Drama Island. I need to see it. It's so bad. Chris has a different voice actor, though, and that really throws me off.
That guy's he's aged so many years.
It's a full different voice actor, though. It's just so weird to me because he has that iconic voice because he was also the voice actor for another show we watched, 16. He was Jude.
Oh, okay.
He was the voice actor for Jude in 16, which was
Oh,
another
yeah.
obsession show of ours.
Oh, okay. Actually, think that show provided such a good comfort. Like, I love that show so much more than I
Well,
think.
we used to watch it. In our
Actually, I'm not
bedroom.
going to say I love it more than Total Drama Island because that was definitely iconic for us. But 16, what a good show.
16 we used to like put on because we had a TV in our bedroom, which we felt so cool about. And
16 and life is hard when you're growing up so fast.
I mean, you definitely murdered those lyrics.
Girl, I don't remember them.
It's 16 and life is sweet. No, how does it start? It's something about got a new job, gonna start at the mall today. Thank God I'm on my own for the first time.
Da-da-da-da.
Yeah,
I don't
anyway,
know.
such a good show. And Nikki's literally Gwen.
Oh.
Like, it's not the same voice actor, but I'm just saying the character's
Oh,
same.
okay,
The goth
yeah.
girl to the goth
You
girl.
know,
It's same vibes.
I would have loved to see 16 go further, but I think Total Drama knew exactly what it was doing, and it was more successful for a reason.
Exactly. Total Drama
Yeah.
is just so iconic. And it really was an obsession to ours to the point where we needed more media of Total Drama.
Yes. And it was where we created.
The wonderful, iconic Total Drama Sims.
And girl, we had a time with that one.
Girl. Okay, so first off, I would like to give credit, not give credit, but give myself a shout out.
Yes.
On my old gaming channel, I made a whole Total Drama Sims, season, like a full season. It's on my gaming channel that I don't use anymore. It's Greg's Game Life. If you want to check that out, it actually is really good. But me and Kendall, long before I ever did that, me and Kendall would make these seasons. We made like different locations, different like decos, da 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 da, and we would make Sims and watch them compete.
I like literally, you bitches were out there going to the mall, hanging out with friends on the weekend in high school. Me and Greg were in the lab. We were cooking. We spent all of our Friday evening making entire characters, choosing their personality traits specifically, downloading custom content to make sure that the character was fully fleshed out.
Exactly. Sometimes downloading custom traits and stuff.
Like, I'm saying, like, we were up till 12, 1, 2 in the morning designing the camp.
Yes.
And we would spend like all Saturday and Sunday thinking of competitions and ways to do the show. And then we weren't even recording it, but we made entrances just for ourselves. And if the Sims fucked up our entrances, we would send them back and make them do it again.
Exactly. We're not recording anything. It's just for us to watch. And the best part was because Total Drama has 2 teams, we would each have a team. We make the cast together. And then we would take pics of the team, or we'd use a random number generator. So, like, my team was purple, and maybe it was, like, because how Total Drama was, it was, like, screaming or flipping or something like that. So, like, maybe mine was the napping turtles, you know?
Yeah.
And then yours was
I chose orange for sure.
Yes. It was usually I was purple and you were orange. Because
Yeah.
those were, like, the flag colors you could find in The Sims. Well, it was kind of make your own colors, but anyway, you were always orange. So I was either purple or blue, something like that. Wanted to contrast the orange.
Yes.
But we'd make this full cast, and then we'd like basically schoolyard pick our teams, and then we'd on a notebook piece of paper we'd have week 1 this is going to be the competition. Week 2, week 3, week 4 there's no one going home. It's a surprise twist, and then week 5 is like punishment week. Like we had the full thing set up. And
emotionally invested. We would be so mad because our favorites would be on the block, and we gave them so many toxic traits. Like how many of them were hotheads? How many of them were like antisocial, social butterflies?
They were allowed 1 good trait. Each person was allowed. No, this was Sims 3, so they were allowed 2 good traits and 3 bad traits. And it was drama.
No, we had like an entire rule book. Like honestly, we should publish a rule book so everyone at home can play. Yes. But oh my God. And I remember I would like be sitting in class. I'm supposed to be doing homework and I'm like, how can I make a competition in The Sims for these people? How can I do this? How can I do that? We were so obsessed. Like I was so creatively enamored with this entire thing. And we would spend the entire week. We would come home from school, do our homework just so we could play our own Sims. And again, no one ever saw this. No. And we would try to like explain it to our mom and our sister or whoever. No one ever cared.
Even our friends, and they're like, okay. But
yeah,
we'll get there in a second. But
we will.
We also did photo shoots for these characters because in Big Brother the photos would turn black and white. So we had a wall full of photos. We brought in Big Brother and we turned the photos black and white as people
like
were
put in
eliminated.
a cheat, force someone to like max out their
photography style.
Yeah, and then they took like full on headshots of all these different characters.
And it was like in the dining hall area, we had the full list, and it would go black and white when somebody was eliminated.
And then we changed the color frames to match like their team frame.
Yes,
then when teams dissolved, everyone had like a wood frame to match the cabin dining hall. We were invested. And
in case you're thinking, oh wow, they did this one time. No, we did this multiple seasons. And the winner would get a huge photo put in the wall, and then time for a new cast.
To the point where we had so many different characters, by like season 3 or 4 of our own show, we had an All-Stars.
We literally had our own All-Stars.
Because we did save The Sims to the library. Don't worry.
You're thinking like, wow, it must have gotten repetitive. No, we had themes. We went zodiacs. So we had, like, I was in charge of water and... Because we did the zodiac thing a couple times. But the original one, I was in charge of water.
And earth.
And you were in charge of fire and air.
Yep.
And so like the water and earth people were on a team, and then we found so many different ways to do
We
this.
truly went all in. Then we did 2 seasons of that because one season we did like a mix of male female. Then the next season we swapped everything and did the other version, like the either feminine or masculine of that.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
we were so invested. We
So
for
invested.
sure had to do like 7 to 8 seasons of that, mixed in with a couple extra Big Brothers that we used to do.
Yeah, so then we started doing Sims Big Brother, but we were like mixing Total Drama and Big Brother together into the same thing.
We were President Snow. We were the game makers.
Oh, by far. But yeah, Total Drama, it went to Sims, and it was perfect because we only had one computer at the time, so it was
Yeah.
a perfect way to share. And I want to let you guys know, this wasn't just high school. We did this in college.
Yeah.
There was a summer we did this in college. We were both
Yeah.
dating someone. We got them into it, and we're like, well, one of the people were also from the original friend group. But
Yeah.
it was a full investment. Like these college kids in summer, they go to work, they do their jobs, they come home, they watch The Sims.
We
Total
hooked
drama
it up
together.
to a TV with the HDMI.
We
Like,
HDMI'd it to TV, and we just sit there and like fight over it, and it was so good. So, Total Drama. I got to start moving on the subject, but we could talk about this forever.
yeah.
It continued to spiral through much of it, and like I said, if you really want to know how these seasons played out, you can see my Sims 4 version. It's not the same. You don't have me and Kendall being unhinged together, but you can get the like energy of it. It's really good. But yeah, Total Drama was my obsession of the week.
And I love that. And it led you to Survivor, which has fully been your personality for probably 5 years
That's
now.
going to be an obsession one day, but I have to really prepare.
Yeah. So much. There's a lot that you've got to get together
Yes.
for that one.
But yeah, that is my obsession of the week. So now,
Yeah, I love it. You literally, like the definition of what we're supposed to do with this podcast and what we're supposed to be obsessed with, we both did this week, and Total Drama was 1,000% your obsession.
it was
1,000%.
all right. So now let's get into your obsession of Sex in the City. I already know what it is. So.
Oh my God, what? How'd you know? Dun, 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 dun. Greg,
Yes.
we're obsessed with Sex in the City.
Woo! Actually, I'm
And-
so excited for this.
I know. Okay, I want to start off with the origin of how I got there.
I don't even think I know this.
I was working, and this is a point where like I was working my little like engineering job, and I was like good at it to the point that like I just mentally just turned my my mind off and would watch TV while I would put together these designs and these different maps. And I'd always heard of Sex in the City, and I actually first ever time I ever remember it is from, I think it was like Disaster Movie, which was one like back in the day when they did those weird spoof comedy movies of the most
Oh, yeah.
popular stuff.
The one where at the
Yeah,
end where they're
and
talking
like we're
about
into Sex in the City, girls. Yes.
yeah, and they're like, and I effed blah blah blah. I effed, and he said
When
"I
Hannah
effed
Montana
Sex
was
in the City,
yeah,
girls."
yeah.
Mhm.
It was a whole thing. Those movies feel like a fever dream. But
They
I
are a
remember
fever
hearing
dream.
about that, and then I kept hearing about it like it was such a big pop culture thing. And at this point in my life, I was just like, I love history, I love pop culture. So I was like, you know what? It's on HBO. We have an HBO subscription. Like, let's just see what it's about. So I start watching it at work by myself. Then I start watching it with my ex. And me and her kind of getting into it to the point that like one night I went to bed and she watched all of season 3 without me. I was like, what the fuck? And then after that, so I'm single now, and I'm like, I missed all of season 3 of that show. I'm gonna rewatch it. And it's just watching Sex in the City when you're single, especially me being in my later 20s. I had a failed engagement. I had a whole failed relationship. I thought my entire life was planned, and now it's not. And I had no idea what I was doing. I was like, I'm gonna be old and single forever. And it was just like this whole thing. And I think it truly became an obsession when I was single and being fabulous myself. And I got so deep into it, I rewatched it. I made you watch it. I made my best friend / roommate Mary now watch it. And that's honestly what built some of our friendship. I made my other friends watch it. I got our sister to watch it. I had everyone I possibly could hooked onto this show because I was like, I am fucking obsessed.
And it's also known as like almost like a cornerstone of gay culture. Like it is so
Right.
big in the gay community, but I'd never seen it. But like Drag Race references it all the time, and like people, they just talk about it. They know it, and I was like, yeah, but it's from an earlier time. I feel like I'm not gonna be into it. And you start watching, and you're like, no, Greg, you need to. And I was like, okay, if it's a cornerstone of gay culture, and Kendall saying watch it, I'll give it a shot. And bitch.
Girl, it's
Oh my
good.
god.
So now I kind of want to give a premise of the show for those who unfortunately have not watched it, and you better fucking watch it.
You really
So, yes. This show is following the life of our main character, Carrie Bradshaw, who is a journalist in New York City in the late 90s, and then it follows through to the 2000s. And now there's like a reprisal of the show, and she's older. It's a whole thing. So the show follows Carrie, who is single, and she's dating men in New York City, and there's so many eligible bachelors, and she's into fashion, and she's writing, and every week the episode is centered around her topic she's writing for her article or her job. And she takes a lot of inspiration from her own personal dating history and all the sex that she's having. And then she also has her 3 best friends, and they all are a little core group of 4 people, and she borrows stories from them. So the show follows Carrie, then you have Miranda, Samantha, and Charlotte. And all of them are an archetype. And if you want to take a step out of it, a lot of theories of the show is that like Carrie is the character, and then the other 3 friends are all like a reflection of the different sides of women at that point. Because Charlotte is known for like traditional romantic, think 1950s, falling in love, Audrey Hepburn, like in New York City, finding the perfect man and having the perfect life on Fifth Avenue with the perfect apartment. Then you've got Miranda, who's like at this time in the 90s, with our parents' generation, it was like a big thing for like women to be in the workforce and being bosses and getting in leadership. She's a super hardworking, successful lawyer who refuses
Hashtag
to.
girl bossing.
Yes, literally like girl boss, but the good stuff, not the weird stuff that happened in the 2010s. But she is the girl boss. She's out here. She's all about work, and she dates men, but like she doesn't prioritize them because her career is most important to her. Then you have Samantha, who kind of counts as the sex drive and like the fun, whimsical nature. So Samantha is the one that's a little bit older in the group, but she is probably the most modernized character and iconic in her own way.
Almost, she was like, not before her time because she was very much a very beloved character.
Yeah.
But she was like, she was a feminist for that time in a way.
Yeah.
Like she was doing the things and saying the things that nobody else was doing. Like a lot of respect for Samantha.
No, I'm saying Samantha called polyamory. Like
Right.
I'm on the dating apps now. The like probably 1 out of 10 dating profiles is somebody that's already in a relationship looking for friends or fun. Like she called that stuff forever ago, but essentially Samantha is constantly has, you know, new sexcapades that she's on, and she's doing something different and fun, and she's not worried about committing to a man because she's got herself, her fabulous job in PR, and her friends, and she doesn't
also-
need a one settled man. She doesn't have to emotionally invest in them. And she was very polarizing from the time, from what I understand, because women were thought to be these super emotional, had to attach, and instead she was like, I don't need to attach to a man. I just need him to meet me in my sheets, and then he can go.
But also she wasn't just sex either though, because she was also just very blunt, said exactly what she thought, and she said it. Like she just didn't hesitate. She wasn't like basically the opposite side of the coin of Charlotte, where Charlotte was very sweet. Samantha was just like, here's what it is.
Exactly, yeah. And so perfectly, exactly, yeah. So Samantha was like the most modern character. I think the most well-rounded, and I'm not gonna say fully fleshed because they definitely like just cut her short sometimes because obviously everything was supposed to be about Carrie.
I feel like she brought in a role that we'd never seen before.
Exactly. Like I think it was a first of its kind, just femme fatale to a T. Like
unapologetic.
Yes, exactly. Like yesterday I was rewatching it, and it was an episode where she's trying to seduce like a monk at a church. So like, and he took like a vow of chastity, and she's just like going to this church to flirt with him. Like, she's perfect. But it's everyone talks about which character they are, right? If you watch the show, you know.
Yes.
Everyone's like, oh, I'm this character, I'm that character. My first watch through of the show, I was still in a very heteronormative relationship, very repressed and very, you know, just emotionally stunted. And I fully related to Miranda, but I was like, I don't want to be Miranda. I know that's not who I am. But like, that was who I presented as. That was who I thought I was. And then after I came out, I just started having a fucking ball, saying yes to everything, doing all types of stuff. Really came into myself, I believe. And I was like, wait, I'm Carrie. Even though the first watch through, I was like, Carrie is so fucking insufferable. Like, if I watch this woman talk to Big one more time, I'm personally going to like find a way to erase this show from the hard drives. And Like, I was just like, she's so annoying. Like, she was fun in the beginning, and then she just got annoying, which I still kind of stand by. But I respect it a little bit more because now that I've been older and single and had to date around and had to do a bunch of stuff, like, I get it, girl. We've all been there. It happens. And I don't want you guys to just think, oh, Kendall is just saying he's a carry because, you know, the main character. I don't want you to think I'm that full of myself. I took 4 quizzes. So, the first one I took is idrlabs.com. And this one gives you a percentage of which of the characters you are. I was 78% Carrie, 55% Samantha, 39% Miranda, and 38% Charlotte. So all of them exist within us, right? You know? But I like literally rewatching the show, I'm like, it's Carrie. I am her, she is me. Like, to the point that I am like known around my office for fashion and fashionable outfits and just like being stylish in my own way. Girl, what are you typing in?
Sex in the City IDR Labs test.
Okay, yeah, we can take a break and let you take this
we'll
quiz.
take a break for mine. I was just seeing if I could get to it easy. Because in my mind, and we've talked about this before.
Well, we can get to this in a second. Because we can just
kind
of...
I was doing it before jumping to the next test, but go ahead.
I was going to say you can take it. Like, if you want to pause now, we can take it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay. So I didn't want you to just think I was going to call myself a carry. And to the point that I took a whole quiz that really tells you who you are.
Yes.
And you just took this quiz.
I did.
So let's share our results and let the world know which characters we are.
You should go first. This is your obsession.
I will try to show my little screenshot on my laptop.
You can send a screenshot and I'll throw it on the screen.
Okay, yeah, I'll send you this. Okay, so my results were 78% Carrie, 55% Samantha, 39% Miranda, and 38% Charlotte.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm really surprised I even got Miranda and Charlotte the same. But I get it. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, when I originally watched the show, I was like, I don't know, girl. I do get Miranda, and I support her girl boss energy, but it's not me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Before I took this test, in my mind, I very much thought of myself as a Carrie Charlotte hybrid. Like, the insecurities of Carrie, oh, I'm there. Like that one episode where she's like, oh my gosh, this guy's great, and he left me alone in his apartment. I'm tearing the whole apartment apart to find out what the problem is.
1000% you.
That is me.
Yes.
But also like, love will happen. Everybody will work out in their fairy tale ending. Also me. So I really thought I was a Carrie Charlotte, but girl, apparently not. So according to this test, I'm 63% Carrie. So that's my top one.
Oh my God, then both Carries.
Yeah, I know.
And that's on being raised by the same people in the same environment with the same genetic pool.
Because then my next second highest is Samantha, 53%.
And I think that's just the gay part.
Yeah, I do too. It's the gay, being gay really changes.
Because the show, they say, is supposed to be like four women living like gay men in New York City, which I think is a discredit to women.
Oh my gosh, Samantha's just a woman that's a gay man.
Yeah, that's essentially what they say. I think it's a discredit. I do think there are Samanthas out there in the world.
Oh, for sure. And then my next highest is Miranda, which ultra shocked.
But you know what? As mean and bossy as you were to me as a kid, I'm going to let them have it.
No, it's not even like I don't relate to Miranda at all. It's just I thought Charlotte was more than Miranda. Yeah. So that's what has me shocked. But, like, I don't align with, like, the stereotypical values of, like, a family, da-da-da-da. I have that hopeless romantic and that, like, over-optimism that everyone's going to get their happy ending and stuff like that. But, yeah, I don't know. I
really thought you were a Charlotte more than Carrie, but I think it's because, I had my Carrie blinders on.
Only you can be Carrie.
Yeah, exactly. After being out of the closet and just having like fun with my creativity and I honestly got back into writing and reading. Like I was like, yeah, I do relate to the other characters, but for sure, definitely a Carrie. But there's times I watch the show and there's the things Samantha says. I'm like, yeah, girl, that's me. Also, I took a few more quizzes. So we had this one from IDR Labs that was like, oh, you're a Carrie. Then there's a new one because Sex and the City just got put on Netflix, so the world is really finding out. There's this place called The Every Girl. Once again, we got a Carrie. Then I went to BuzzFeed because you know what? If somebody's gonna do a quiz, it's gonna be BuzzFeed.
Right.
Once again, we got a Carrie. Then I went to Cosmopolitan.com because I was like, you know what? Cosmopolitan would know, and I got Samantha. So I would say I agree with the results. I literally bought this skirt that I'm wearing today because I was like, oh my God, Carrie's iconic. Like, the show just is such an inspiration and so much fun. And I think when people first are single, like after a big breakup, someone you thought you're about to spend forever with, you're like, holy shit, like this is the rest of my life. Like I have no idea what I'm doing. Like everything's gonna be horrible. I'm gonna be single, alone. I'm gonna be a loner. And then this show just kind of helped me reframe myself, made me not afraid to go date. And also, I think my favorite takeaway from this entire show is the line where Charlotte says, "What if us friends are each other's soulmates?"
Oh my god.
And I love that. And I think that's a really big thing that we're going to have to start looking towards in life, is so many people are obsessed with finding the one or finding true love, which obviously everybody wants that. But honestly, like let's start turning to our friends. Let's start seeing the love that our friends give us and use that for validation. It's not traditionally looked at, and I think this show was very much ahead of its time for that piece. But just overall, I just want to give a little synopsis, my personal opinions on the characters. I told you what, their writing purpose was. Now I want to just give you Kendall's thoughts. Carrie is our problematic queen and my fashion inspiration. If somebody's going to put some weird ass shit together and call it fashion and it actually kind of looks like it, it's her. But let's also give credit to Patricia Fields, who was the stylist of the show for the first run of the series. She was in her bag. She did everything. And actually on the new cameo Samantha just did for it, and Just Like That, which also I got to get into that show. But she specifically was like, I'm not doing a cameo unless Patricia Fields designs me. Because she wasn't on the new series either. It was like her assistant that she had at the time. Charlotte, who the fuck is her hairstylist? Like that, there is not a single scene of that goddamn show where Charlotte is not showing up with the best hair, the freshest cut, and the most gorgeous blowout.
The way you started this, I thought you were gonna talk shit about Charlotte's hair, and I was so confused. Like, if anybody's watching YouTube, they probably saw me like, because you're like, who the fuck is her style? Like aggressively, I was like,
I need their number. I probably can't afford them, but I need their number.
Charlotte's hair always on point.
Yes, what the hell? Like every single scene, perfect, absolutely perfect.
And her like trim proper, like I know it's not for everybody, but literally she's just like so perfectly preppy in her style. It's just like she's just so clean. Put together, so clean.
So clean. Also, you know what? I do have to give a little bit of criticism to her. She's our favorite hypocrite. I've never seen somebody be so against women's rights, but at the same time, the second a man gave her a third date, she slept with him.
Yes. But also, one of the most iconic moments, like literally, anytime I even think about this moment, I start laughing. It's the one where Charlotte like just comes to the table, and then Samantha just says something like,
"No." She's like, "I'm dating the guy with the funkiest sperm" or something like that. I think it was that episode.
Yeah, and then Charlotte doesn't say a word. She just gets up, leaves, and she's gone for the rest of the episode.
She does. That is one of my favorite memorable moments. She just sits down. She's like, "Hey guys," and then Samantha says some offhand, super sexual thing, and everyone else is like, "Okay, this is Samantha." Charlotte's like, "I'm out."
Yeah, she literally just gets up and gone, and she's gone for the whole episode.
But I think in that episode, or it may not be that episode, there's one where her and Samantha actually like kind of beef it out.
Yeah.
And then she's at this thing. She's like, you don't ever just want to get railed to her, like these old sorority sisters, and they're like, oh. Yeah. She's like, y'all are a bunch of uptight bitches, and then she went back. Next is Samantha. Again, she is the future of what I think a lot of Gen Z dating is going to look like, in my opinion. Polyamory, no gender roles. She's bisexual in the show, but it's not even that she labels herself bisexual. She just goes for what she likes. I think the world would be a lot better if people were just as aggressive as Samantha. I think there are still people who had that more emotional side to them that she doesn't, or at least she doesn't express to everyone. But honestly, Samantha's the future. She was everything. Zingers galore, funny sex scenes galore. The show is called Sex in the City, and over half of the sex in that show is Samantha herself.
Yes, definitely.
She is a backbone of that, and I hate that there was behind the scenes beef with Kim Cattrall and Sarah Jessica Parker that eventually led to her not coming back in the new spinoff.
It's such a, you really feel like
there's a void.
Her missing, yeah.
And
I have such a soft spot for Samantha, because not necessarily like all the like sex stuff, because that's what I was kind of hinting at earlier. Like, there's a lot more to Samantha than just sex.
Yeah.
And my soft spot for it is because my husband Danny is literally Samantha.
1000%.
Like, if he took that quiz we did, it'd just be 100% Samantha, nothing else. Like,
I know.
He's so Samantha, so I have such a soft spot. Like, we'll be watching the show, and it's just like she'll say something. Danny's like, huh, I would say that.
Yeah.
Like it just
No, I now
fully.
like I've known Danny for so many years now. Every time I
Mm-hmm.
rewatch this show, I'm just like Samantha is Danny.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I've ever known anyone that was a Samantha, it is Danny.
Yes.
And that is why we can say confidently that she definitely was built like a gay man.
Exactly.
And then next is Miranda. I absolutely love her.
Mm-hmm.
In the new series, she comes out as
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm gonna go with
I
bisexual.
think
Like,
she's pansexual,
and
right?
you know, I really relate to her more in the new series because I came out and had a big breakup at the same time in the show. She's divorcing Steve,
Mm-hmm.
which shout out to Steve. I think he was probably my favorite. Actually, no, I think Harry is my favorite, like, longtime husband, Charlotte's husband. But I really did like Steve, and he was cool. And I love how he pushed and helped Miranda grow. But
Mm-hmm.
in the new series, they break up, and
Yeah.
she divorces him, and then she gets with Che, who was also I forget her name.
Gender
She
non-binary.
yes, comedian.
Mm-hmm.
Um, they played a doctor on Grey's
Grey's
Anatomy.
Anatomy.
I
Yeah.
forget what her name was.
On Grey's
O'Malley.
Anatomy.
Yeah, Doctor
She's not
O'Malley.
O'Malley.
Isn't she?
She married O'Malley. Because O'Malley was George O'Malley, right? And George and her got married.
I can't remember. But anyway, the people who know.
I'm not a big Grey's Anatomy person, so I'm
Yeah,
wrong. Please don't
like
scream
it's
at
been
me.
forever ago.
Our
Like
dad was a huge Grey's Anatomy person, but
between the theme song of Grey's Anatomy going off on Thursdays and the theme song of Desperate Housewives going off on like Sundays, that was bedtime.
exactly.
Like we fell asleep to their theme song.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, so Miranda, I love her vulnerability, and she probably is the most relatable character in this series. Like she's like, I'm not perfect, I'm not super gorgeous or beautiful, and she just says like these certain comments about herself or to herself. Like last night, I was just watching the beginning of season 4. And there's an episode where a guy hits on her at the gym, and she's like, "What? Why are you hitting on me?" Like I was wearing some like nasty, ugly T-shirt. Like you don't think I'm hot. And then she's like so in her head about how she doesn't think she's attractive that
Mm-hmm.
she like keeps getting advice from people. And they're like, girl, just play the part. Like if that's what he sees you as, just do it and just feed into what he says. And at the end of the episode, he's like, yeah, you just came off as egotistical. Like the bad luck Miranda
Uh-huh.
consistently has and the amount of crazy shit that happens. Like I love her. She's so relatable. Like as a person, she's probably my favorite character in the show. I
Mm-hmm.
don't feel like I am her, but I love her so much. Like in real life, me and
Mm-hmm.
Miranda would be besties, and I know it. And I love that like they give her vulnerable things. Like she doesn't want to have kids, but then she finds out that her womb is barren. And then she does have kids, and it's a struggle for her. Like I think she's the most real and vulnerable character
I'd
in the
say
show.
she's also the one that develops the most throughout the show too.
Yes, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Between her and Charlotte, those
Yeah.
two develop the most. But now to get a little bit away from that, I just want to take a moment and let us discuss who we think Carrie should have ended up with.
Ooh,
Yes.
we have
Um,
opinions.
I 2 years ago would have said big.
I would have never
3 years
said
ago would have said I hated Carrie. I wanted her to be alone. I love her best when she's single. But rewatching it single, I was like, but I get it. Like big, there's just something about him. She can't get away from it. Then I had my like really toxic situationship, and I'm like, girl, why are you there? Like, go to therapy.
Mm-hmm.
And she went to therapy, and then the therapist was like, girl, the common problem here is you. And she was like, ew. And then she dated one of the fucking other clients.
Yes.
And I'm like, Carrie, it is your fault that you were this problematic. Like, you are an anxious attacher, and you need to get your shit together.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually watched a TikTok video of this person who talks about attachment styles. And she talks about and perfectly shows how Carrie is an anxious attacher. And that's a whole thing. Maybe I'll have to do an episode on attachment styles, but like look it up if you don't. But all that to say, I don't think I like her with really any of the people so far. I don't really love that they made her get back with Aiden in the reboot. But also like their relationship's a little complicated. I think if she had been willing to give up her anxious attachment or work on that part of herself, she could have ended up with Aiden. And I guess like I say this because I fully didn't want her to be with Aiden. I was like, no, like he's boring to her. He doesn't offer her anything, and he wants her to stop smoking and says all this stuff. He's very upfront and just honest about who he is, and like I think there's some things about them that aren't compatible. Like I think Carrie's perfect match is still out there, or else it's her
Yeah.
friends.
So for me, I was just like, from the beginning, I was like, I don't like Big. I would literally text Kendall and I was like, I know she's going to end up with Big, and I hate it. Like,
Don't worry, he
fully, like,
dies.
in season 1, I was like, I know she's going to end up with him, and I hate it. I was like, I do not like Big. It's so probably, like, having been in a toxic relationship myself, I was like, no, Carrie.
Yeah.
And then so much of what Carrie does, like with insecurities and stuff like that, I relate to so hard, especially when I was single. And I was just like, girl, no, it ain't it. It's
That's
not
what I'm
it.
saying.
And I can just see it, and I'm just like, that's not it. So literally season 1, I texted Ken, I was like, she's going to end up with Big, and I hate it. Then with Aiden, I don't think she should be with Aiden. I think Aiden is a victim in this situation.
He is, but also, okay, so here's my thing.
I don't think they were a good match, but I think, I don't know.
I think, no, he was, the first round of them dating, he was for sure a victim. Like, she.
Yeah, exactly. That's more of what I'm talking about than anything.
Like, 1000%, she, like, definitely was a toxic and did him dirty. Mm-hmm. She didn't have to lie about her smoking. She could have just let him go, but she needed someone to want her. So, I get it. That's what I'm saying. Like, I think that if she had been in a healthy mindset, Aiden, the first go around would have been good. But the second time, you can just tell he holds resentment from when she cheated on him. Like,
fully.
There's a scene.
He shouldn't have come back.
Yeah, there's a scene where, like, he's putting on, like, a little tobacco patch because she's trying to quit smoking for him again. And he, like, slaps it on her. And it's just like, we don't like that. But they address it in the new series. And he's like, hey, you know, like, actually, I was a dick when, like, I proposed to you. I was trying to trap you. Like, that wasn't right of me. Mm-hmm. But then in the new series, Carrie literally is talking with Miranda. Is like, I'm having the best sex of my life. Like, Big's dead. I know I can't have him anymore. And now I'm fully open to just pursuing things with Aiden. Mm-hmm. And it feels fantastic. And it's the best it's ever been. So that's the only reason I support her and Aiden. But at the same time,
no, I don't like how the last scene of the last season went when he was like, I can't go back in there.
Oh, yeah. No. He goes into the apartment later, I think.
I don't even know if
he offers to, but she says no. But like, oh yeah, but the end of and just like that series, like he literally was like, oh sorry, my son's like really emotionally upset. I'll see you in 5 years. I'm like, girl, what?
Oh my gosh, I don't know if I've seen the new season.
I don't,
and that's just like that. Last thing I saw was they ended up at Carrie's apartment. And he's like, you're still here. I don't know if I can go in there. She kind of like kisses him and leads him in there anyway.
I think there's like more to it. You definitely haven't finished the season.
Oh my gosh, I have more to see. That's exciting. I have something to watch now.
I'm jealous. Like, I wish I could unwatch this show and rewatch all of it again.
The amount of times me and Danny have said that, because we watched this show hard, and when it ended, we watched the movies, of course, and we were both so sad, and we're like, can we forget it and start over again? Like,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I was so obsessed. I've watched countless videos on YouTube of like character analysis, them talking about behind the scenes. I've watched behind the scenes like old interviews from like 2004.
It is sending me when you start counting, you get to the one without a nail.
It happens. It happens. Shut up. Then I've watched like fashion analysis videos. I think this show like really helped me be comfortable with discovering so many different parts of myself and being single and just being single and fabulous. No question mark. And so all of that to say, I think I'm happy with Carrie being single. I wish she would find someone new. I loved when she was fucking that podcast producer, though.
Yeah.
I'm just like, you know what?
I loved him.
Mm-hmm. But you know what? She's a lot more mature and tame in the newer series. I'm interested to see where they're going to take it. Mm-hmm. I guess if she feels like she has to be with Aiden, then go for that. I think this go around of her and Aiden is good. I don't know. I'm just like, to me, like being in my like late 20s, I'm like, I have time ahead of me. So maybe we'll check in 30 years when I'm about their age. But I'm just like, I don't know. Like the first round of Aiden, if she had been more mature, I would have appreciated it. But like after all that history, I'm like, I don't know, girl.
Same. I think it's just kind of comfortable.
Mm-hmm. But I do think he pushes her to grow because he's very different from what she thinks she needs. But it is what it is. Like, just let my girl smoke. Just get used to the cigarette smoke, Aiden. Like, you're clocking almost 60, mid-50s to your 60s now. Like, just smoke some cigarettes, girl. You made it this far. Mm-hmm. Then with the new series, we can touch on a little bit. And Just Like That is great. I think truly it's all the same to me. I love the new series.
It's missing Samantha, which is such a...
Yes. Like, we got our tiny little cameo in the finale. And I loved it, and I love that she fought for Patricia Fields to be back and style her. And it is what it is. But I will say, to me, the show just, like I said, just showed so much, but also I think it just gives like a fun space. Like it shows a fun side of life. There's so much of like being in a relationship that's pushed in our society, and I think this is just a fun way. And again, like I said way back, like this is, to me, this has made me more comfortable, and I find comfort in like my friendships and family are can be my soulmates, or they can be my chosen people. Like I don't have to have a partner to be happy, and I've really needed that message, and I'm really letting it sink in. I don't know if you want to talk about why the show might be important to you or your favorite takeaways.
I genuinely, it's very different for me because I watched it while fully being married and with my husband, like from beginning to end. I don't even know how to put it into words. It's just something I appreciate. I want to continue watching. I'm still sad I can't watch it again for the first time. It's just,
Yeah.
it is for the girls, the gays, and the days, you know? It's just, I don't even know how to put it into words. It's just something so special that I don't know. It's
And maybe
iconic
to
for a
get real,
reason.
yeah, like to get real, maybe that's the reason that, I love the show so much. Like, yeah, I think there's a lot of like dating, people not dating, or people that are single now, than historically before.
Mm-hmm.
But the girls, the gays, and the theys, like the reality is sometimes you're gonna be single for a long period of time, or with me dating in the gay community now, like there's just so many people who are just out for sex, like people around my age or people a little bit older, just like I still have a life to live, I'm still focusing on career. There's a lot of people who aren't looking to settle down, so I think the show is at way ahead of its time, and I think that it makes it feel like it's okay to be single and just fuck around for a little
You know
bit.
what? I think actually I figure out what I want to say. It's
Okay.
the fact that due to like the characters and how well developed they are and stuff like that,
Mm-hmm.
no matter what stage of life you're in, you're gonna relate to someone there and something that someone's going through. Like
Yeah.
some episodes I'm relating to Charlotte, sometimes it's Carrie, sometimes it's Samantha. Like there's they're just so well made and so diverse. Everyone, especially if you're in the girls, gays, and days kind of field, like you are gonna find relatability with someone in every single episode. So you're like so connected and so tuned in every single episode. And there's a lot of shows I love and I obsess over, and I will not say Sex and the City is like my favorite show on this earth because that's probably Survivor.
Mm-hmm.
But I can say I've never been like related and been so tuned into a show maybe ever, especially like a scripted sitcom
Mm-hmm.
ever like I have Sex in the City.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, the straight people have friends. We have Sex in the City.
I mean, I'll take Friends too. Don't
I
get me
know.
wrong.
I do
I
love
love
it. That's
Friends.
not to bash it, but I'm just saying, like, it's this beautiful little synopsis of friendship over family, or friendship is family.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
It's beautiful.
all that to say, um, now I would love to just take a moment to talk about probably one of my favorite Carrie outfits ever, which is
I
from the
already
new
know where.
series.
Oh, okay.
The new series, and it is hands down that gorgeous orange dress with the pink gloves when she dumps Big's ashes off the bridge in Paris.
Let me look it up real quick. I'm gonna pull it up.
Yes.
I'll put up a
And you
photo
can
on
also
screen.
talk about your favorite outfits. I mean, obviously, there's so much fashion, there's so much whatever going on in this show, but like that outfit has stuck with me so much.
Yes. Okay.
Like,
I
okay,
remember
exactly.
now.
Like the color, the drama, this fucking Paris purse,
Mm-hmm.
which is like a resemblance to, I don't remember if in the show she Big bought her a duck purse and she's like, this is fucking ugly, I hate this, but now she has like another character bejeweled purse and it's of Paris, where her and Big reconnected in the series, and it's just so beautifully well written and she looks absolutely gorgeous. And I
Yeah.
want the world to know that the day that Kendall gets married, I will do everything in my power and my financial credit card limits to have a iconic fashion moment with
Mm-hmm.
a train of floofy tulle like this. Like there are suit jackets now that I've seen for like men getting married that have so much extravagance,
Yeah, the
and
train and
yes,
everything. Mm-hmm.
like I want you to know my inspiration comes from stuff like this, but this is absolutely my favorite outfit that
I
Carrie
mean,
has ever
fully.
worn.
So me and Danny, we had our small wedding in 2020, you know, little family thing, and we've been planning to do a bigger one, like where we can get, because all of Danny's people are international. There's
Yeah.
not many here in the States, so we have looked into like these, just so like if it does come out and they're like, wow, they stole Kendall's idea. No, we've been looking into like the coats with the trains and everything, like. if you're gay, do it.
Yes.
You know, like,
And
have your moment. Nobody else is going to be there in a white gown.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, if with gay weddings, that's my favorite thing. The rules are, we don't have to follow the rules. We do whatever the hell we want to. But yeah.
Do you remember the gay wedding we saw in New Orleans?
Yes.
It was so
That
good.
was so
we were
good.
literally just walking to Bourbon Street, and like this whole party bust out of a church, and there's two men in white, and then this whole band. And,
It was
like,
the jazz
streamers.
parade. It was like traditional. It was perfect. Like, New
It was
Orleans
beautiful.
is my favorite city in the
And
entire
then we realized
country.
it was two men. You know, it was incredible. It was.
And
so
you know
good.
what? God bless. We were meant to be there. But yeah.
But
So
iconic
favorite
haircuts.
outfit.
Yes.
Yes.
For me, first off, it's not my favorite, but it needs to be spoken. Carrie's wedding dress when Big did not show. Again.
Fuck Big. But yeah.
But that dress. Oh my God. But the dress. The dress, and we've talked
That
about it for
whole
years.
bird on her head. That's the part where I'm like, I love the dramatics.
Lose the fascinator.
I
I'm sorry.
love that she did the Vivienne Westwood dress. Love that for her. But it wasn't my favorite moment.
But for me, and what I thought was for you, which is, happy for you they found a new one, because this I see it.
This is orange is like my favorite color. Like, this is everything to me.
I forgot about this, and is iconic, but
it lives rent free in my head. It is probably not even rent free. It is a poster in my mind. Like, it is wallpaper in my mental apartment.
So, again, going to a moment where Carrie's in Paris, that dress when she didn't go out in Paris.
Oh, the Vera Wang.
The Vera Wang. Oh my God, that
You
dress.
did really like that dress.
Obsessed with it. It's so beautiful. So that one's definitely my favorite, but this is now a second for sure. Mm-hmm. Because let me see, I'm gonna put that photo up now.
Yes.
Sex.
Honestly, I need a picture of her in this dress on the bridge printed out as a poster.
Versace dress. Wait.
Was it Versace?
It's Versace. Yes.
Okay,
Not
look,
Versace.
girl, don't.
I
Girl,
was
cut
gonna
that part out. Cut that part out. I'm gonna get murdered.
So her in this like Versace dress in
Mm-hmm.
Paris when the date didn't happen. My God.
Oh yeah, with Alexander Petrovsky.
So, like this right here, this image. I'll put it up on screen. This one.
Mm-hmm.
A beautiful.
I mean, it's still there, and you know what? It is gorgeous. It is gorgeous. I love it.
Beautiful.
I've seen people try to recreate it. I think you even showed me a doll before where someone
Yeah,
remade it.
on
But
Instagram.
it wasn't the same.
It wasn't the same, but there's this Instagram where they recreate looks from Sex and the City.
Yeah,
I wonder if they've done the orange look.
I don't know, but
I don't know.
if they have, I love that.
Mm-hmm.
It'll probably be in my top 3 of your dolls, depending on how the rest of it comes together.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I don't know. It's such a. That's definitely my favorite one, the Versace dress.
Okay, not Vera Wang, Versace.
Uh-huh.
Okay. So all that to say, that is what I've been obsessed with this week. I needed a little comfort show, and I couldn't think too hard. I could spend 5 hours talking about my favorite parts of Sex and the City. It's iconic, it's meaningful, it's perfect, it's everything, it's an inspiration, and it has been my obsession this week.
Well, I absolutely love it. Let me jump back to our recording page so I can see that. But I absolutely love that. I love that we both did television today.
Yeah. It's a little TV moment for us.
And one that we both relate to.
Very
which
much.
Which is always fun.
That has pushed our personalities for sure.
Definitely. To the point where I'm definitely going to be cutting stuff out of the total drama. There was more, you guys. I promise we had a great time, but I had to cut some stuff out. So
Yeah, and more is going to have to be cut. We're working on timing ourselves.
It was my turn to have a Country Bears moment. You know?
Yes.
I love that we just have this content we keep talking about. They don't get to hear it. It's just, it was there. And it was good. It's just, it had for brevity's sake.
And you know what? That's what we get because these phone calls and these conversations last for hours. So it's our fault for trying to time ourselves when we literally wanted to make this podcast because we were like, oh my God, we keep talking about what we're obsessed and you have to listen to it now.
Yeah, it's those moments where you're still sitting in the car talking, but you got where you already wanted.
We are professional yappers and we will do this forever.
Well, I guess that's about it for this episode, though.
Yes. I am so happy I did this. It healed a little part of me.
I really enjoyed it. This is. I feel like this was another good episode.
Yeah.
Not that I feel like ever finished and there's bad, but there's ones I'm like, yeah. Like the Club Penguin, I was like, yeah. And the gay club.
Yeah, and I would hate myself if I did not mention the very Carrie Bradshaw of having a podcast of it all. Because in the new series, back in the day, she was writing. Now podcaster thing. She fully was on a podcast, and they were producing her own podcast.
I was genuinely sad when the podcast stopped.
Like, I was happy. I enjoyed listening to all of her stuff again. Like, it was perfect. And, you know, This is so Carrie Bradshaw of us.
It is. All right. Well, I guess that's it.
Yeah. All right.
Talk
Talk to you later. Bye.